I know people that have like large government contracts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh wow, they have a $4 million contract or
And broke.
right? Because
Yeah.
they have
The
to be able to
subcontractors.
right. The subcontractors, they have to be able to float the expenses that they have, and then they get paid
60 days.
later, and,
Yes.
and all that stuff. So that doesn't mean that you're making a lot of that you're profitable. You have a lot of money. So
Yeah, and that's one thing about like entrepreneurship. People talk a lot about what they make, and it makes people feel like, oh, dang, she's doing
Exactly.
it.
Right.
They don't
Exactly.
have anything.
Yes.
They are like robbing
Yes.
Peter to pay
Paul.
Paul.
Absolutely.
And it does look like you make more money.
Yes.
money,
So,
Yes. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so they need to stop talking about these 9-to-5 people
Yeah.
because
No,
at least
no.
their 100,000
That's
is their
right.
100,000.
It's their money, right?
When
And at
we
least-
make 100,000,
and at
that's
least
about
they-
20.
At least, right. At least they have benefits too, right?
Right. So that's why I didn't. I mean, I didn't think I noticed, honestly. And I don't think I was here during the time that this controversy or adversity went on. So I wasn't really even aware of it. But what do you think you learned from that situation and that adversity?
So I felt like it was the Me Too moment, right? So anything and everything I've ever did wrong in my whole entire life, right? They all kind of jumped on it. And so much so that even when Fox News had reported it, I won a settlement. People don't know that. So I signed an NDA, so I can't disclose what I won. But I did win a nice settlement, so I did. So I had the best lawyer. He's so good. Jay Wendell Gordon, the warrior lawyer.
The warrior
The
lawyer.
warrior lawyer. I
He is
stand
amazing.
him and
Yeah, he's
endorse
amazing.
him because he is a warrior, right?
Yeah.
He went up against Fox 5 on my behalf and sued him, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna get you this. And I was like, no, you're not. Yes, he did. But anyway, so I'm sorry, what was the
No,
question?
I mean that's how. What did you learn from?
Oh, so
this
what did I
adversity?
learn? So I learned that I needed to so the longer I'm in the job, right, the more issues it is. I also learned that I get so engrossed in my jobs that I forget to create a network because I felt like at that time I didn't have a lot of people that I thought should be rooting for me. Like a lot of people was like, oh no, I ain't gonna touch that. Oh, that's a mess, this and that, right? They weren't there. So I did learn that I needed to create more of a network. Like instead of just working,
right.
then maybe I need to be on the scene, but not too much so, right? But so I did learn that. I also learned that I just do my best and try to make sure that I am doing what I say that I'm going to do. So, and that's pretty much it.
That's amazing.
So have you since then tried to stay away from out of town jobs or?
It depends. I'm very selective of out of town jobs. Like I went to Chicago. I remember I told you I went to Chicago, and same scenario where she was just like, I really want you to do my home, and I was like, I really don't like to do out of town jobs, and and it's hard. I have 4 different work crews at any given time. They're amazing. But it's very tough to get them to go out of town because they're leaving their families just like me, but I have a good support system, but it's very tough to do that. So I'm very selective about where I go. And in my Chicago job, we loved it. Like it was cold when we were there. I don't like cold, I like hot. I'm a May baby, but I loved it because the client, she was like, you can stay with me. And I was like, oh no, I don't stay with people. Right. I mean, you don't stay with strangers, you don't know what it's good, but you know. So she was like, well, no, why don't you just come and see? And so she lived in Frankfurt, right? And it was a good community, and they had like these man-made lakes. Like it wasn't a real lake.
Right,
I mean,
right.
It was, but it wasn't like you can jet ski on it. But you know what I mean. But they still
They do
fishing
have
and
a lot,
stuff.
yeah.
But anyway, so she lived on a lake, and she had like a whole separate wing. And I said, I can do this. So
Maybe I can't stay there.
maybe I can't stay this, and we overlooked the lake, and then because even Al was like, no, we don't stay. But I was like, what you think? So we ended up staying. We was like, we'll try it, and so we ended up staying a month there, and that was like a good job. And again, we got in and we got out. We have a Florida job, same thing. Like, and she's just like, I really want you. She's been saying this for 4 months. And then each day I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get over your contract. So, and she's still hanging in there with me. So I said, okay, I guess we'll go there next to Florida. So,
okay. So do you only do residential or do you do commercial as well?
We do both. We do
both?
Residential and commercial. I just finished a selfie museum for the Neils building. I also did, we're staying the salon suites there.
Oh, and I saw that.
Yeah,
that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, but all your designs are beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, you can look at it and say, oh,
Dereky did that. Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so they have like one of the largest houses in Maryland, right? Okay. How many square feet is it?
40,000.
40,000 square feet.
Yeah. So did
you do the whole thing?
We did. So the county told them that they could not. He wanted to build. He had the land for a long time. He wanted to build his mama home. He wanted to build him a home, and he wanted to build his sister a home. The county told him, no, you only can build like that one dwelling. So what he did was he got smart. So he built one big house. His mom has her side with everything, like 3 levels.
Wing.
Yes, but not even like another wing, but like another house.
Oh,
like,
really?
Living room, dining room, family room, like
connected though. Oh,
there's a banquet hall in the middle.
Oh, nice.
So it's her whole house, separate interests, everything, like everything for a house, right? Hers is like 8,000 square feet. A 10,000 square foot banquet hall that's in the middle, the shared space, and then it's his house. It's like 12,000 square feet.
Oh wow,
it's crazy.
Wow, so, 40,000 square feet.
That's I'm sure that was an exciting project to work on.
It was, and it was during my Valley moment. It was during the moment that I was away. So it was like 19 to 21. So although I was away, I said I didn't want to do anything. I still was working like on that project.
Yeah.
Nice.
So your social media presence is very strong. So it's just interesting that you said you were off, because I guess I didn't notice, because it seems to be extremely strong. And you have some amazing and unique designs on your social media page. Do you offer any, all of the designs look very high end and super luxury.
Thank you.
So do you offer any like budget friendly designs, or is that not aligned with your brand?
So no, I feel like we give a big bang for our buck, right? So I just can't shut it off.
Right.
So it irritates Al, because at the end of the day, he's like, and I'm like, oh, the project looks good though. He's like, yeah, but so I can't turn it on and turn it off. So I always pride myself on giving more to the client than less. And 99% of the time, if I like it, the client's gonna like it. So for instance, I don't know if you know Ishmael and Rochelle Wilson.
I don't know.
Pastor Ismail. So they're good friends of mine, and they called me and he said, hey, Dereky, he said, I know you're busy. He said, but that's the tagline everybody will be. I'm like, yeah, what's up? So he said, you know what, my mother, again, my tug strings in my heart, my mother is 88 and she is in need of a makeover, and can you help us, right? So I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, so what do you mean? So he was like, well, can you let me pay one of your workers, and you kind of oversee it, and then you have some stuff at your house. Everybody know I have a store in my house, you know that, right?
Right.
Yeah. I have a store in my house. So can you oversee the process? So I was like, okay, and I went to go see it, and it was in Capitol Heights. So I went to go see it. His mom was over, and his mom was his caretaker for his sister that has Down syndrome. And anyway, it needed so much work. I mean, it needed so much work. And he was like, well, can you take on a project? And I was like, okay. So I ended up having to take several crews over, like at different times, which wasn't in my plan because I had my crews allocated. But because of his labor of love for his mother, I love people that honor their parents.
For sure.
Yes.
I mean, there is, we know, I mean, my mom is deceased. I mean, I know your mom was a pillar in the community. You know what? Parents are not here for a long time. And when you make them smile, when you honor them, I just feel like you're just doing what you're supposed to do, right?
Yes.
So the mere fact that he wanted to do that, I definitely wanted to be a part of it. And he was like, you know what, he has a cleaners, and he has several of them. He was like, you know what, it's not a great season. And I was like, look at the economy, it's not a great season for all of us, but just the fact that you want to make it better for your mother at 88 years old.
Yes.
We don't know how long, she said, God bless, maybe she'll be here another 10 years, but she's such a sweet lady. And just to see, and I just posted that on my page, I think yesterday, but just to see like the smiles on her face and her impact that he made and that we made in her life, and how she just kept breaking down. So she said, I'm going to enjoy this for the rest of my life. And I just was like, yeah. So that was, Boom. So yes, to answer your question, then yeah, it depends within reason. Sometimes the low budget ones are the low budget are the biggest headaches. Come on, people that want to come in here, and pay $40, okay, are the ones that's be like, oh, but my bank isn't right. My business isn't right. Like, chicks, are you kidding me? Right, like, right. It's like, and they want to be late, like me. So, but anyway, but yeah, so you within reason.
Okay. All right, so that's good to know.
So what do you have coming up? You have any upcoming projects?
So yes,
I know you like to reinvent yourself and go on to the next new thing.
So I have a good client in Baltimore. His name is Trey. Trey is so funny. So anyway, Trey is in the mental health. Well, not mental health. He's in it's a big space, y'all. He's in the space of drug treatment.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and
like
then
a drug treatment facility.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then in Baltimore, right?
Okay.
And then he added on like the mental health piece too, and just added on all this stuff. So Trey gets bored quickly though. So Trey is like, okay, come on, I'm ready for my living room. Oh, you know what, I want to change it, and I want to do this. So now he's like, okay, I want to do the outside. And I said, okay. Mm-hmm. So he's showing me like all these outdoor like oases with these like amazing outdoor rooms and these like sunken fire pits and waterfalls, rock waterfalls. And I was like, oh, Jesus, he's stretching me on this, but it's okay. I'm going to live up to it. Because he was like, oh, you can make my house like this. That's okay. He put me to the challenge. Then he went on Instagram. It's so one of those, like, you know how you see those Russian sites that have like all of this stuff on these Russian sites that you're like, oh my God. And he was like, I want my bedroom to look like this. And I'm like, Trey, I said, give me a moment. It took me about a week to find these Roman sculptures and to find this bronze tray table, and I find this special bed, and I find all these appliques for the ceiling. And I said, boy, when we do this one, you better not get tired of it. So that's another thing that's stretching me, because I just had to find like, it's not like I can go get it at my vendors. I had to find like each piece. I had to go on my sites from China. I'm like making stuff for them. So, oh yes, and we're also doing, sending them, they purchased a building. So the building where the salon is, they have on the main level, like it's going to be like the premier restaurant of Prince George's County. When I say it's going to be amazing, we are bringing Connecticut Avenue to Main Street in Upper Marlboro. He's interviewing chefs. I had one celebrity chef that we called as a friend of mine, and he's in Arizona now. But anyway, when I say it's going to be like amazing, like everything that we're doing, I'm getting it from I'm importing it, I'm making it up. And when I say, oh my God, like this thing is going to be amazing. And then downstairs is a lounge banquet hall. Oh, okay. But it's going to be like totally upscale, something this county has never seen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So looking forward to
that's coming.
We definitely need it.
Yeah,
for sure. So they're the closing point. So I would say before the end of the year, it's definitely coming. Wow. So if you all are on Main Street, look for that black building now. People are stopping traffic because they notice the building. It's right next to Lido's. It's attached to Lido's. It's an 18,000 square foot building.
Wow.
Yep.
So can you share? Oh yeah, definitely.
And then you pay attention.
But look at it now when you see the black building, because you'll see it now.
Yeah. Yeah. So can you share some examples how interior design contributes to these business spaces? Because you talked about 2 different business spaces. Do you think the design helps create more business for these businesses, or?
Absolutely. I mean, look at here. I mean, it's amazing here, right? So she did a great job here, and with you all, it's input as well. I just feel like if a place is nice, then people will want to treat it nicer, right? And then people will want to go because it's pretty, right? But you got to keep people coming back with good service and with good food. So, and I think that's where they're going to hit all 3. The selfie museum, I'm just tickled pink because we don't have a whole lot in this area. They have a lot in the other areas, but it was so cutesy, and I can't wait till that actually opens. We're just waiting on one more piece, and then that'll be open for them too. But yes.
So is the selfie museum attached to the salon suites, or it's a separate space where people could just go in and rent the selfie museum?
So think of a 3-level building, right? So upstairs would be the salon suites, and then there was like a big, long, like 800 square foot room that was left over. Then there's a meeting room. that Miss Neal always says that's where she makes the money at. The meeting room that we made really nice, and then the selfie museum was like, so think about this area right here, but maybe a little bit larger that we just made into individual vignettes. So it's as soon as you come out the salon, you're right into like the selfie museum. So that's opening soon.
That's interesting. That it's even attached to a salon. That's nice. Really nice.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure people. Will there be a charge to go through the selfie museum? Okay, all right.
Yep, it's a charge for it, which is still baffling to me, right? Because it's like, how do you really make money? But so it's still, I guess, trying to work. No, seriously, because it's like,
because it makes sense, especially to be attached to a salon, because people leave looking their best and feeling their best. So they definitely will prompt people, to go in and they can do their whole photo shoot with their own phone these days, as opposed to having to pay a photographer.
Yeah. And then some people want to rent it out. Some people have already hit me up, and I'm like, it's not mine. And they've already hit me up to like rent it out to do like parties, like sipping paints and all that other stuff. So.
Oh wow! How many square feet is it? The selfie museum?
It's about between 800 to 1,000.
Okay.
But I think the way we set up the tables in the middle, I think you can get like up to 30 people.
Oh, really? Okay. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Really nice.
So do you want to share some of like the emerging trends coming out in home design? Do you stay abreast of all those things, or do you follow your own trends?
No. So everybody knows I like glam, right? Glam and glitz, right? So that
doesn't work.
Glitz. That doesn't work. Doesn't work for everyone. So what I'm seeing is that the glam is going out the window, right? The glam is going out the window. Everything is so monochromatic, meaning that it's tone on tone on tone, meaning that it's cream. So I went to the furniture market, and I said, oh my God, I got a headache. Nothing like blew me away, because everything is creams and beige and taupes, right? Gray is going out the window. Browns are back, right? So the browns are back, creams are back, and I was just like, okay, I am bored. I said, okay, I'm going to tone it down a little bit. And I gotta add a pop of glam somewhere, because this new mid-century style for me, like it's different. But I mean.
But your clients love that. That's the thing. It's like they love the glam. Even the male like inspired rooms that you do still have like a bit of it, but not over the top. So I don't know that you should change it, because that's what they go to you for.
That's what they go to me for. I had one person, it wasn't a great experience. She was just a mean lady. She called me, and at the end of my design, she said, I don't like glam. And I said, well, why did you call me?
Right. Why? Because that's what you do.
Right. She was like, I am just more subtle. Okay, well, I'm not the subtle designer.
But everyone knows that.
So, and there are other designers out there that do great designs that are more subtle.
So when the trends change like that, do you have a hard time finding the things that you like to use for your clients, or?
So no. For instance, because I saw a lot of taupes and grays and monochromatic, so I am getting ready to put furniture into a home in Virginia. We did a whole remodel, totally modern, in Virginia, and so I just changed course. Like I was going to get a little bit more glam, but I just said, you know what? Okay, well, let me just get a little bit more toned down accents, a little bit more neutral accents, and just add pops here and there. And I don't know if I'm gonna like it though. So I'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Because I'll probably be like, you know what, to mess with this, let me just do what I do. And
And you add structural features as well. Do you do that to all of your designs?
I do. I tell people to tell me they don't want crown molding. I was like, well, maybe I'm just not for you.
You're right.
I just feel like architectural features, they add my foundation, right? I tell people the rule of thumb is your home should be so amazing with about one stitch of furniture that when people come into an empty house, they should say, oh, so just think about a new house that comes in the market. Like it should be so newly built, should be so amazing that you forget the fact that there was no furniture in there, because you'd be like, wow, that house was nice.
Because it's like with these new homes, they take all the furniture out. You see the model, they take the furniture out, and you're like, is this the same house?
Yeah, exactly.
It looks really weird.
Exactly.
Without all of the design features.
And think about the model homes. So people love the model homes because of the features that are in there. So they get their home and they really think that their home is going to look like a model home. And it doesn't look like nothing like the model home, right? I know. They get a little bit, disappointed at first. It's a model home.
And now they put it around. This does not come with
exactly
the house.
Right.
Now they're putting it in there. Do you stage homes for
I used to stage. The problem is I can't turn on and off staging and design. So I would spend too much money. And, and I wouldn't get it back.
And it's not.
Yeah. So I had someone call me the other day. They was like, oh, I have this high ticket property. And I said, and this is a girlfriend of mine. I said, I wish I could help you. I said, but I can't turn my brain off. So it's too much work.
So do you think that was something that you learned over time with some of the adversity and then taking on jobs that you didn't think were a right fit for you? So are you, I guess, a little more discerning about the things that you take, or?
For sure.
I'm a lot more discerning. The issue is when you have a lot of jobs, whether it's hair, whether it's real estate, when you have a lot of jobs, you have what's called cash flow, right? So cash flow does not mean that you have a profit, right? So
100%.
You know, and when you're moving, sometimes it's hard. Unless you have a great accountant, right? It's hard to be able to track cash flow versus profit. So I don't know who turned me on to this app called Expensify. Oh my gosh, like my eyes are way open. Like I don't, like my guys, they got so trained. If they do not call me with a receipt, that's their receipt. So they're so trained now that they have to call me with the receipts, and I look at it, and it really helps open my eyes. And now it helps me to be able to adequately charge and track what I'm spending too much money in. And so
yeah, but that's the thing about entrepreneurship. It's a continual journey, and you just learn along the way. So yeah, it makes sense because the numbers are the numbers. And if your numbers are wrong, and a lot of entrepreneurs, they do fall into situations where they're spending more than they're making, and it feels like you're making so much money because you got 7 figures in revenue coming through, but you're spending,
but you got going out. Yes. You know, I mean, when we went to our accountant like about a month ago, and they were like, "You made what?" I was like, "I made what?"
You don't even see it.
Are you sure?
Right.
He was like, "I had your bank statements." I said, "Really?" But it goes right back out, you know,
right back out
and
the
you
door.
don't see it. I mean, you can have like books of clients, right? But you think that, hey, I should. But by the time you do like your products and whatever other expenses, right? Your staff that you have to pay and other expenses, then that's when you're like, okay, well, maybe I need to scale back here, or I got to bump it up and charge more, right?
Right, and then there are those expenses that we don't spend on every day, like taxes. So, then you have to pay taxes on top of that, but that doesn't come until the end of the quarter.
Right.
You know what I mean? So a lot of people get stuck there where they're not even profitable. So a lot of businesses, especially self-employed, they're not even profitable at all. But you think you are profitable because you have all that money in your hand every week.
I know people that have like large government contracts, right? And you're like, oh wow, they have a $4 million contract
and broke.
Right? Because of they have to be able to the subcontractors. They have to be able to float the expenses that they have, and then they get paid later, and all that stuff. So that doesn't mean that you're making a lot of that. You're profitable. You have a lot of money. So
and that's one thing about like entrepreneurship. People talk a lot about what they make, and it makes people feel like, oh, dang, she's doing it.
Right.
And they don't have anything. They are like robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Absolutely.
And it does look like you make more money.
So
they need to stop talking about these 9-to-5 people because at least their 100,000 is their 100,000.
Is their money, right?
Where we make 100,000, that's about 20.
At least they have benefits too, right? So
a health insurance.
But y'all know y'all wouldn't trade this life for anything in the world. Yes, you won't. And I think another piece too, we get caught in the passion of what we're doing. You want things to look a certain way, and you will go over budget just so that finished product has your name on it, and you can say. But I mean, I think as you mature, you do start understanding how important it is to get those numbers right.
It is,
and it's not. Well, it's always about your name, but you have to make that balance.
So in the back of my head, I have this saying, like when I'm struggling with myself about wanting like my name on and stuff. First of all, I'm like, okay, I already have a portfolio. I don't need another portfolio. But in the back of my head, I say, if it's not important to them, it's not important to me. And I kind of gotta stick by that.
Yeah.
So if it's not important to you for me to add that extra piece, then it shouldn't be important for me.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess
that's hard.
It's hard. It's hard.
That's really hard.
It's hard, but it's like I gotta do that at times in order for me to see, a profit. I had a lady today gave her a bathroom code. I felt like it was reasonable. I'm already doing her house. The reason was so she was like, okay, we opt out of it. I said, okay, great, next. I mean,
Right.
So before I would be like, wow, like, okay, well, what do you want to pay? No.
Right.
That's just experience.
No.
Yeah. Time and experience
Exactly.
gets you there.
No. Okay, all right, great, next.
Yeah.
So what inspires you outside of interior design?
So, I like nice things. I like pretty things. I like to travel when I can, right?
You travel a lot?
No, I wish I did travel more. I'm working too much now. But I do like nice things. Of course, I like fashion. Like a blessing and a curse for fashion. I like just spending time with Al. I like water. I want the peace. I like the peace from water. I do.
So is there a social cause that you're passionate about? Like, do you volunteer your time to anything or anyone? Do you mentor any up and coming designers?
I do.
Flippers?
I do.
I know you've done it in the past.
Yeah, I do have a mentee, and she's actually pretty good. She has some amazing pillows too. Ashley P.
I don't know. I haven't heard of her.
She's
really?
a good designer. Interiors by Ashley.
Okay.
On Interiors by Ashley P. She used to be a hairdresser.
Okay.
Yeah, and I always
wow.
feel like
She
hairdressers.
pivoted.
Yeah, but I always feel like if anyone wanted to enter into interior design, it would be a hairdresser, right?
Really?
Because you
I
are
actually
so
took the little online course
because you are
myself.
so
I think it's that creative piece.
with the
hate
styles.
it.
No,
Really?
but you're a creator though.
Oh my gosh. Like when I have to pick out paint colors.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
see, I'm
really-
the opposite.
Oh my gosh. I hate
Be
it.
like, do not come in here with another swatch. I mean, I will go crazy with a swatch. I love doing like the salon design. Each one of my salons have had a different feel, a different energy.
Yeah.
But I love it so much.
Yeah.
I mean, just picking out all of the little details. It takes way too long.
Yeah.
Because I do get like just enthralled in it. So I can see that.
I just see the creative piece,
Yeah.
and as creators, I mean, because we're all creators. As creators, I just feel like it's an easy transition.
Yes.
With being able to create. But yes, I do have a mentee, and I have people that ask me all the time. So when I was in Chicago, because it was inside, it was cold. Then I stayed in, I was watching the water, and I wrote an ebook, right? I just haven't done anything with it, right? And it was called So You Think You Can Decorate, right?
Oh, so you need to do something with
that,
I
right?
do something with it. So I just haven't had time, and then I researched
We're gonna put the pressure on you.
Now it's out there, right?
Put the pressure on you.
Now it's out there.
We're gonna put the link at the bottom right here. So make sure you get it together, get it formatted.
Yes, right.
Before we drop this episode, okay?
Lord.
We're gonna put the pressure. It's been so amazing. I'm so glad that you were able to come.
Thank you. I'm glad to reconnect with you. And for Tanya, one thing that I learned from Tanya, and I always tell her this, and I know she's like, Dereky, you tell me the story again. I tell her this all the time. I was 18 years old, and it was 2:00 in the morning. Lord have mercy. Hairport was a salon that you would go to.
I don't keep you guys in here for 2 in the morning.
She always uses that disclosure. She does it, right? She gets you in and out now, right? So Hairport, it was 2:00 in the morning, and I sold earrings at that time, right? Earrings, and it was always Tanya and Vicky. So Vicky, Tanya's counterpart, said, "Bring your earrings in, right?" And so I was like, "Oh, I'm so tired." And Tanya said, she said, and it stuck with me for my life. She said, "Oh no, you're never too tired to make money." So that was at 18 years old, right?
Yes.
And it has followed you.
It has followed me. I mean, I've worked, and it's not uncommon for me to just work till about 2 or 3 in the morning. And Alice like, "Are we going to be finished?" And I'm like, "Oh no, we're never too tired to make money." So he's like,
right.
Dude.
Literally, like that thing has stuck with me.
Yeah, for
and,
sure.
And just watching, like, your journey of, actually both of you all. I mean, I've seen you like migrate from your salons and, being businesses, but Tanya, always, anyone I'm talking to that is like a mentor to me. You know, I always tell that story about what Tanya said. And I said, you know what? I said, she's one of the few individuals that would go to a foreign city. Like she left like in the peak, like in the prime of her, that was like, airport was like, you know, it was always a hustlerette salon. It was like, okay, you was the girl. Like if you went to airport, like I'm sure guys just wanted to hang out for going to airport, right? Back in the day. And she had like the best salon back in the day. And you left right in the peak. And then you went to Atlanta. And then next thing you know, you heard of Insaya, right? Am I right?
Yes.
Insaya salon. I guess, am I pronouncing it right?
It's the inner salon, but a lot of people call it Insaya.
Okay,
so
all right.
that's fine.
That's a black version, right? So, I can be bougie, two ways or ghetto. But anyway, so she had that Insaya salon, and it was like, and I would hear from people that I knew in Atlanta, like, it was the hottest salon there. And then you went to Illinois. Am I telling you?
Right. Yeah.
Then she went to Illinois, and I was like, oh my God, Tanya's moving again. So it was like military, but I know because your husband and his jobs and stuff, and she went there, and then she still had like a hot salon. So you know what? I always say that success is not on you. It's in you.
It definitely
is in you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get crushed down to the ground, but you're going to rise again and make flowers from your dirt, right?
Yes.
So, and I just said, a hustler is always going to be a hustler. Like, they can say what they want to say about Donald Trump, and I may be censored or wrong about this, but guess what? He ran this country like a business. He did. I'm sorry. He ran this country like a business, and he's been bankrupt before, and he's come back. So I just look at people like that. Success stories like that doesn't matter. I don't care about mistakes. I don't care about I just look at success stories. That's what inspires me. Like people they keep going. Yes, the people that keep going, and no matter what, like they fall down, but they don't lay in it, and they just get back up and they keep it moving.
No matter what they're saying.
No matter what they're saying, and no matter what. I mean, social media is a cancel culture, right? They love you today, hate you tomorrow, love you again the next day, and it is what it is, right?
So. That is true. So there are 3 queens of reinvention here.
Yes. Even Dawn, I've seen her have her successful salons and just always, just always, and in real estate as well. So doing like both, like having a dual career and be successful, that's tough.
And I'm about to sit it all down. Y'all can have this entrepreneur.
Whatever.
Now I'm selling both. Now I'm exactly. You're not gonna put it down.
Exactly. I'm putting it down. When Mr. Right comes my way, I'm laying it all down for him.
Oh, girl,
he will be my job, my business.
Okay.
But this has been amazing.
So you need to be able to still call the shots, right?
I don't need to call the shots.
All money.
I'm okay with not calling the shots. I'm okay.
I hear her talking, but I don't hear her.
Right, you used to be like, okay, right. Like you can't go from a boss queen, right? A boss queen
what she said
to somebody telling you, oh no, you only can spend $5 a day. Oh no.
Look at her face. Look at the face.
No. The investment properties were bringing enough money to do what I want to do.
Okay, all right. So you got a plan. That's right. That you meant like solely relying on him. Okay.
So it'll be
no. You got it. No.
This has been so
It has
fun.
been. Yes.
It has been amazing. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you all for having me.
This has been another episode of the Icon Theory podcast. Make sure you subscribe and like this, and we'll see you again next week.
Yes.
Bye.